If you've been stuck in the same key range for a while and it feels like you're trying to improve but nothing is really changing, your damage is fine, you know the dungeons, and you're pressing your buttons well, but you're still not timing your keys consistently, it's probably not your mechanics, it's how you're trying to improve. I've been thinking about this a lot recently, and I actually want to start helping people improve more directly. So if something I say in this video really resonates with you, please stay tuned for the end. Have you ever had one of those moments where it feels like you're playing so well, you kicked something important, your damage is going crazy, and you're topping the meters, and then all of a sudden, you're just dead? And you look at the recap, and you stood in a swirly. But there's no way, the game must be bugged, you didn't stand in that swirly. But if you actually went to watch it back, you probably stood right in it, and it feels so silly because you know you're better than that. That's where something I like to call your mental stack comes in. One of the biggest things that helped me improve was understanding my mental stack and how it influenced my gameplay. Basically, it's how much information your brain can process at once. And for a lot of players, most of it is already taken up just by their rotation. And then you still have movement, interrupts, defensives, positioning, and suddenly there's not much left for something unexpected. So when that something happens that you didn't plan for, you don't really have any space to deal with it. But the important part is, as you get better at something, it starts taking up less and less of that mental space. So for higher level players, their rotation might only take up 10 to 20%. Not because they're trying harder, but because it's just automatic, it's just muscle memory. And this is where improvement really comes from, not necessarily doing more things or just doing things better, but freeing up all that space to think. This is where I think a lot of people get stuck. They're trying to play perfectly all the time. Perfect rotation, perfect kicks, perfect everything. And ironically, everything ends up being kind of mid, because you're just spread so thin. Your rotation doesn't need to be perfect right now, it just needs to be good enough. Damage is important, obviously, you're never gonna finish a dungeon without it, but it's not the thing holding most people back. It's usually just these deaths or small mistakes that add up through the course of the key. So if you're trying to fix everything at once and it doesn't work, what do we actually do instead? If you really want to improve, you need to start focusing on one thing at a time. Not everything, just one thing. That could be your interrupts, defensives, movement, positioning, your cooldown usage, it doesn't really matter. Whatever it is, just pick one. And then play 10 or so dungeons where that's the only thing that you care about. It doesn't matter if your damage drops below the tank, it doesn't matter if the key depletes or if you just spam die. Because we're not trying to time the key right now, we're trying to improve just this one specific skill. And this is the part most people don't like. Even me, I absolutely hate it. But recording your gameplay and watching it back makes a massive difference. Let's be real, most of us don't have the ability to recognize, reverse engineer, and fix mistakes on the fly in the middle of a key. But you also don't have to sit there and watch through the entire run, just look at some key moments. Like, if you're focusing on interrupts for example, take a look at a few of your kicks throughout the dungeon and decide for yourself if they were good or not. That's it. You don't need to overanalyze everything, and all of that is probably the hardest part. You can also take a look at where things got a bit messy, where casts were going off and you didn't have yours and you just felt a bit powerless. Then go back 20 or 30 seconds and see what you used yours on. Or just skip through the entire run and look at how long your interrupt was ready and you never pressed it. You will be surprised. When something goes wrong, it's really easy to say, oh, that person didn't kick, the healer didn't heal this mechanic, or this person messed up, or that person messed up. But that doesn't help you improve. Instead, just ask, what could I have done here? Even if it wasn't your fault, even if someone else made a mistake, there's almost always something you could have done differently. You can't control your party members, so you are the only consistent thing in your keys, and that's the best thing to focus on. You're going to fail keys and you're going to deplete a lot, and that's fine. If you take something away from the run, it was a successful key. Score is just a number, and if you focus on yourself, it will go up, I promise. And as sad as it is to say, another thing that really holds people back is other players. Toxicity, comments, and blame, it can really kill your motivation to improve. And honestly, it caused a lot of anxiety for me as well. But the reality is, they're in the same key as you and they're making mistakes too. So whatever they say doesn't really matter. If chat stresses you out, move it to another tab, and as soon as the key starts, don't even look at it. Just focus on whatever it is that you're working on. Damage does matter, and for a lot of people, it's the fun part of the game. It feels good topping the meters, and it feels bad being at the bottom. But if your damage is low, that's something you can fix. Blaming Blizzard tuning or the meta isn't gonna make you better. Focus on what it is that you can control. If you really want to get good at the game, you need to be obsessed with and you need to care about what you play. There will always be a meta, and honestly, playing meta makes the journey so much easier, but if you're playing something you don't enjoy, it's really hard to become good enough at it to climb. Improvement takes time, and if you don't enjoy the process, you're probably just gonna quit halfway through like everyone else. So yeah, most people aren't stuck because they're just bad. They're stuck because they're not trying to improve or improving the wrong way. If you fix how you approach improvement, everything else will just fall into place. So if you got this far, and if this kind of mindset resonates with you, and you're serious about getting better at the game, I do actually want to start helping people improve, especially the people that have been helping me. So there's a Google form in the description, and I'll select some people from it to help with their process. No pressure, and it's completely free. I just enjoy this side of the game and yapping about it.